College basketball national championship game is Monday night between Florida and Houston, 8:50 Eastern, CBS National TV. I'm going to break it down in full detail for you, side, total, and also give you a situation which has predicted the winner 80% of the time the last 10 championship games. I'm going to give that free for you in this video right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. And hey, thanks for joining me for March Madness. I did every single NCAA tournament game in March Madness for you, from the first four all the way through the Final Four this past weekend. And now we're doing the NCAA championship game. If you're liking it, thumbs up, like, and comment below. And I will keep it coming for the NBA playoffs, which are just a couple weeks away. Playoffs? Yeah, that's right. I might do every NBA playoff game just like I did for March Madness. If you'd like to see that, comment below, let me know, and I will make it happen. Also, check out some free baseball videos, which will be coming up soon here in the near future, as baseball season is here as well. So click subscribe, click that bell so you never miss out for free videos, free plays here on WagerTalk TV. All right, I'm going to give you that 80% situation in just a moment, but of course the matchup is Florida and Houston. First, let's look at the public consensus. Not much fade the public data to work with here, just one game. But the public is leaning Florida, and also maybe a little bit of a lean to the over. But once again, nothing out of the ordinary. Slight lean to Florida, probably a slight lean over as they normally do. But once again, not a lot of public consensus. I think it'll be a good two-way action game, especially since this game is in Alamodome in San Antonio, Texas. Houston might have a slight crowd edge. We saw the Gators open quickly after the Duke loss, after Florida came for the big comeback against Duke. We saw Florida open as a 1-point favorite. Headed into Monday morning, pretty much holding steady with Florida -1. Some of the sharper books out there do look like they're going to maybe 1.5, though. So once again, I think a little bit of a sharp lean on Florida in this game. Total open 142, quickly bet down to 141, and that's pretty much holding steady across the board as we head into Monday. All right, let's talk about the situation I want to give you that's been 80% the last 10 championship games, and that's quite simply playing the better offensive team. And this is a matchup between a great offensive team in Florida and a great defensive team in Houston. Thing is, though, Florida's not too shabby defensively as well. In fact, if you look at the KenPom rankings, Florida's the second most efficient offense in the country, 9th most efficient defense. This is efficiency, offense and defensive efficiency rankings, basically points per possession based on 100 adjusted for schedule strength. Houston is the 9th most efficient offense and number 1 defense right now in the KenPoms and different metrics. Now, there's a bunch of different efficiency metrics out there. Most of them use the same formula, and you're going to get the same results for the most part. Bartovic, another site I like, has Florida as the 15th ranked adjusted defense, so he has them a little bit lower. Went back over the last 10 years. You can quickly pull up all of those seasons at Bartovic, and if you look, the higher rated offensive efficiency team has won 8 of the last 10 titles. The only 2 times it didn't happen were in 21 and 16, where the number 2 offense beat the number 1 offense. So once again, top 2 offenses played, the number 2 beat the number 1. So you can almost say it's been perfect the last 10 years. And we do have quite a difference in this, as I've got Florida rated 2nd, Houston 9th. So Florida is the better offensive team. And if you look a little bit deeper, effective field goal percentage, which gives more weighting to threes, 1.5 for threes and 1 for twos. It's an overall field goal percentage, which gives threes more weighting. And I think in current college basketball, it's very important to use that. Florida's 31st. Houston is only 108. So Florida, I feel, is a much better offensive team. Now, Houston is a great defense. There's no question about it. But they've been a great defense for numerous tournaments. And as I've talked about in recent videos, they always come up a little short. Maybe that near miss was that 2-point win against Purdue in the Sweet 16. They came out and smoked Tennessee. Not a good offensive team, by the way. And yes, they beat Duke on Saturday night. But as we all know, Duke was up by 14 points in the second half. What happened? Well, Houston shut Duke down. They didn't get a field goal for over 10 minutes. And that's not a total fluke, because Houston's a great defensive team. But I think it was more on Duke. They slowed it down. They played not to lose. It's like when a hockey team has the lead in the third period, or a soccer team, and they go into that shell defense. Duke took their foot off the gas too early. Also some free throws at the end, some crazy plays. And keep in mind, Houston hit 3 straight three-pointers to end the first half. Otherwise, they're probably not in the game at all. So, yes, if Houston's hitting their threes, they likely have a chance at the upset. And by the way, Houston was plus 9 points in that Duke game from three-point range, and they only won by 3. Duke was plus 6 everywhere else, which was actually more than the spread. And the Florida Gators this season have been excellent against the three-point shot. They currently rank 5th in the country, giving up just 29.5% from three-point range. Now, Houston is the number 1 three-point shooting offense in the country, hitting 40%. But they don't take a lot of threes. They prefer to get their points in transition and down low. and they're not a great 2-point offense. So I do think Florida can keep them in check in this one. Something else I want to point out about Houston, if you know how many points are going to be scored in this game, you can probably predict the winner. The Houston Cougars have allowed their opponent in regulation. Now, of course, they had 3 of their 4 losses this year have come in overtime, but in regulation only, they have allowed, I believe, just one of their 4 opponents to score more than 70 points or more in regulation. They lost every game in the regular season, but they did win in the tournament against Gonzaga when they beat the Zags 81-76. But once again, in the regular season, Houston was winless when their opponent got to 70 or more. Why do I say 70? Well, the Florida Gators, first of all, that's the team total for both teams. 70.5 for Florida, about 70 for Houston. So it's a very realistic number in this game. But also, the Gators scored 70 or more in every game this season but one. They scored at least 70 points or more in 38 of their 39 games. What was the one game? Well, it was that 20-point blowout loss back on February 1st at Tennessee. And yes, Tennessee, the other great defensive team in the country this year, just like Houston. Oh, red flag alert, right? Well, not necessarily, because if you recall, a few weeks before that, in fact, about 4 weeks exactly before that, on January 7th, Florida beat Tennessee by 30 at home, 73-43. Then about a month later, they played that Saturday game at Tennessee, lost by 20. It was a terrible spot for Florida. It was a great home revenge situation. I gave it to you free here in my top 25 video, and I also had a strong client best bet at WagerTalk.com on Tennessee. So that loss doesn't concern me, especially since they blew Tennessee out in the first game. And keep in mind, they held Tennessee to 4 for 29 shooting in that 30-point win. Florida was just 4 for 27 on the road in the rematch from 3-point range. I doubt that happens again in this game. I look for the Gators to actually win the 3-point battle. They take a lot more percentage of their shots from 3, and Houston gives up a high percentage from 3. In fact, Houston ranks only 313th in the country by allowing opponents to take over 43% of their shot attempts from beyond the arc. So I think it's more likely that Florida wins the 3-point battle. That normally decides games like this. And once again, if history is any indicator, the better offensive efficiency team wins the national title. They've won 8 of the last 10. The only time it didn't happen was in 2021 when we had Baylor, the second-best offense, beat Gonzaga, who was number 1. Nothing crazy there. And then way back in 2017, I misspoke over it earlier, I said 16. 2017 was North Carolina, the number 9 offense, beat Gonzaga. That was 2017. 16 was the correct one. I'm pulling it up here now. That was actually when North Carolina lost to Villanova in 16, the year before they won it. That's why it was confusing me. Villanova was second overall in offensive efficiency that season. North Carolina was number 1. So once again, the better offense has won every title except the 2 years the number 2 offense beat the number 1 offense. The other years has been more disparity. In fact, I can run through it for you real quick here. Of course, you can go back and do the research as well. But last year, Connecticut finished, these are the final ranking just to make it simple, but it's only 1 game difference, obviously. Connecticut finished first. Purdue finished third, so 2 good offenses there. The year before that, UConn was third. San Diego State was 61st, so huge difference in that finals 2 years ago. Year before that, Kansas was 5th. North Carolina, a little bit of a sleeper that year, was 17th. I mentioned 2021 when Baylor was the 2 offense. They beat Gonzaga, was the 1, but the 2 best offenses in the country. The year before that was interesting. Of course, 2020, no finals, right? So we got to go back now pre-COVID, pre-transfer portal. So I don't rely on these as much because I really think college basketball has changed. But this one is interesting to talk about. 2019, the Virginia Cavaliers, a year after they got bumped to a 16 seed, came back to win it all. Of course, they had some fortunate wins, overtime, several one-point wins. But you think of Virginia as a great defensive half-court team, not as good offensively. And they, of course, beat Texas Tech that year, another good slow-down team. But here's what's crazy. Virginia was the better offense. In fact, they ranked second in the country, adjusted efficiency, behind Gonzaga again that year. Texas Tech was only 17th. And guess what? Texas Tech had the number 1 defense in the country. Virginia was only 9th. So very similar to this game, right? You don't think of the Cavaliers and the Florida Gators being similar, but Virginia, second offense, 9th defense. Texas Tech, 17th offense, 1st defense. That's almost exactly what we have here with Florida versus Houston. So if history is any indicator, yeah, everyone thinks defense wins championships. I think offense, especially in modern basketball and football, offense wins championships when you've got a good D, and Florida has a good D. So I'm going to lean toward the Gators here. Team total, once again, about 70.5. I think they probably get there. They've done so in every game except one this season. So Gators over 70.5 team total would make some sense as well. Houston under 70 team total also makes sense. As I've mentioned, every regular season game this year, when they gave up more than 70, they lost. The only time that didn't happen was that Gonzaga tournament game a few weeks ago. And yes, Florida likes to play up-tempo and fast. Houston, meanwhile, plays slow. But once again, Florida beat the Tennessee Vols by 30 before losing to them. And they've shown they're able to play some slow half-court games this year. And meanwhile, Houston, I think, was fortunate to get by Duke. By the way, if you're looking at the current rankings right now, in Ken Palm, Duke is the number one efficiency team. They're the best offense in the country this year, and I thought they should have won that game. They blew that 14-point lead. So I do believe offense wins championships. If that's the case, it's going to probably be the Florida Gators cutting down the nets on Monday night. Hey, hope you found the video useful. What are your thoughts? Offense versus defense, right? Comment below. I read the comments. I reply back. And once again, if you're liking me doing every single game of the NCAA tournament, I just might do it for the NBA playoffs in a few weeks. Enough thumbs up, likes, and positive comments below, and I will keep these free play videos coming. And make sure you click subscribe and click that bell for an instant alert so you never miss out when they're posted right here on WagerTalk TV. Speaking of the NBA playoffs, I was number one last year in the NBA. I'm number one all-time in profit in the NBA at WagerTalk. Baseball also over 100 units, number one in profit in baseball last year as well. So yes, a little sad that college hoops is winding down. We've had a nice tournament overall. But hey, this is a great money-making time of year coming up. The next several months, the NBA playoffs and Major League Baseball, the two most profitable sports I had in 2024. We had doubled our bankroll by the end of August for all sports clients, and we're looking to do it again in 2025. If you're ready to take a serious, long-term, consistent investment approach each and every day, I highly recommend my one-year all-access pass. It gets all of college and pro football next season, this entire baseball season into next year, all of next year's college hoops, basically. If you start tonight, you get the championship game and all of next year, and also all of the NBA playoffs and next year's regular season. It's a complete 365-day package, all sports, all access. It's quite simple. If I have a play, my clients get it. I've been doing this now for 29 years. I started in 1996. 4 decades I've been a professional handicapper, and if I'm using a play, I give it to all my clients as well. It doesn't matter if it's a 1 day, a 1 month, a 1 year subscription. Everybody gets the same plays, but obviously the longer term packages get the cost per play down and helps you take a true investment approach. And you can save even more right now by using promo code SM365 on the 1 year all access. That's an instant $811 discount. Why the special number? Because that gets it down to exactly $99 a month, just over $3 a day, about $1.50 per play for every college and pro football, basketball, and baseball best bet for the next 365 days and nights. Once again, use promo code SM365 for the 1 year all-access savings. It's on my page right now, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and you get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. I'm very selective, about 2 to 3 best bets on average per day, which means that last cut is pretty strong opinion still, and I post that for free as a bonus play for everybody. Once again, my last cut goes up as a free play every day on my page. So it's another reason to check in daily. Check in for the free plays. Check in for the best bets. The recap. The last 20 are recapped every day. Win or lose, I post my best bets each and every day. You can click on them to read the analysis. If you're new to WagerTalk, if you're new to betting, follow along on my page daily. Make it a daily habit to go to my page, check the best bets, read the analysis, learn while you earn, and get the free play. And then when you're ready to get on board, use one of the special promos or offers that are on my page each and every day. And that best offer, once again, is the 1 year all access for about $1 a play with promo SM365. Hey, get there quicker. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. You also see a 7-day free trial for oddslogic.com, oddslogic.com/SM. 7 days live odds, scores, and real-time injury updates. Same information I use in the sports books used behind the counter. You can try it for free, oddslogic.com/SM. That's also detailed on my page right now. Also, follow me on social media. You can get updates there as well on X and Instagram at Steve Merril, 2 R's, 1 L, at Steve Merril on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to WagerTalk TV because once again, you know there's more free play videos coming up next.